scared of leaving. You're scared of what leaving confirms. Every morning, for longer than you want to count, you already knew. And you went anyway. You showed up. You pushed through. You told yourself it would make sense eventually. You gave it time you will never get back. And now, if you walk away, all of that becomes a mistake. Not bad luck, not bad timing. A mistake you made with your eyes open. That's what you're protecting. Not the job, not the feeling, not the years. The idea that you still knew what you were doing. So your mind rewrites it, takes the thing that's been draining you, and quietly builds a reason to stay. Calls it strength, calls it home, and you believe it, because the alternative is sitting with the fact that you already knew and stayed anyway. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your mind is not on your side. Not always. It doesn't want you to be happy. It wants you to be right. There's a difference, a big one. Because when you've been somewhere for a long time, a job, a belief, a version of yourself you kept performing, your mind starts doing something you never asked it to do. It starts building a case for why staying was the smart choice, for why leaving would be the real mistake, for why the people who walked away were weak, and you were strong enough to stay. That's not loyalty. That's your mind covering its own tracks. Think about what actually happens inside you when someone suggests you leave. Not fear, not sadness, something closer to anger, like they just called you stupid. Because to your mind, that's exactly what leaving would prove, that you were stupid enough to stay this long. And your mind cannot live with that, so it rewrites the whole story. Staying becomes commitment. Suffering becomes growth. Numbness becomes maturity. Every single day you don't leave becomes evidence that you were right to stay. That's the machine running in the background. Quiet, constant, building the case. And here's the part that should scare you. It's convincing, because it uses your own voice, your own memories, your own reasons. It doesn't feel like a lie. It feels like wisdom. It feels like finally understanding something other people are too weak to understand. That patience pays off. That real commitment means staying when it's hard. That leaving is just what people do when they can't handle discomfort. And none of that is wrong on its own. But your mind isn't using those ideas to help you. It's using them to protect itself. From one sentence, I stayed too long. 3 words. That's all it's running from. Not the place, not the pain, not even the lost time. Just the admission that you knew and you stayed anyway. So it dressed the cage up, gave it a name you could be proud of, called it loyalty, and handed it back to you like a trophy. And here's what makes this harder than anything else. Nobody did this to you. There's no villain in this story. No one who trapped you, no one who locked the door. You built this, not all at once, not with bad intentions, one day at a time, one small decision at a time. The first day you felt it wasn't right. You told yourself it was too early to know. The first month you felt it draining you. You told yourself every good thing takes time. The first year you felt yourself getting smaller. You told yourself this is just what growing up feels like. Each one of those moments was a brick, and you laid every single one. With your own hands, with your own reasons, with the best logic you had at the time. That's the part that sits heaviest. It wasn't ignorance. You weren't blind. Part of you always had a quiet feeling, a small voice that said, "This isn't it." But that voice was inconvenient. So you got busy. You focused on the next thing. You made the voice smaller. Until one day, you couldn't hear it anymore. And you called that peace. But it wasn't peace. It was just silence. The kind that comes when you've stopped asking the question. Not because you found the answer, but because the question hurt too much to keep asking. So you filled the space with routines, with reasons, with the kind of busy that keeps your hands moving, so your mind never has to sit still. Because sitting still means hearing it again, that voice. And here's the thing about a cage you built yourself. The door was never locked. It was just heavy. Heavy from the weight of everything you stacked against it. Every justification. Every just a little longer. Every morning you chose to not choose. That's what the weight is made of. Not chains. Not locks. Choices. Yours. And that's the most confronting sentence you will ever have to sit with. Because if you built it, then you always could have left. Which means every day you stayed, after you already knew, was a day you chose the wall over yourself. So now you know what kept you there. Your mind protecting its own story. Walls you built one quiet day at a time. And maybe right now something in you is asking, what was the point of any of it? I want to sit with that question for a second, because it deserves a real answer. Not a motivational one, a true one. The years are already gone. I'm not going to dress that up. I'm not going to tell you everything happens for a reason, or that the struggle was secretly making you stronger. The years are gone, and nothing you do from this moment will bring them back. But here's the thing you're getting wrong. Leaving doesn't waste them. They were already spent. The moment you lived them, they were gone. Whether you stayed or left, whether you woke up or kept sleeping, the time was always going to leave. The only question was what you were going to do with the time still in front of you. Think of it this way. Imagine writing a sentence, a long one, and somewhere in the middle, you realize the sentence stopped making sense. What do? Most people keep writing because they already started. Because stopping in the middle feels like failure. Because a finished sentence, even a bad one, feels better than one that just stops. But here's what they miss. The sentence was already finished. The moment it stopped making sense, that was the end. Everything after that isn't finishing the sentence. It's just adding words to something that's already over. And the longer you keep writing, the harder it becomes to find where it actually ended. The harder it becomes to see that there was a moment, a clear, quiet moment, where you could have just put the period and started something new. Leaving isn't the loss. Leaving is just the period. The years before it were the sentence. They happened. They were real. They shaped the way you think, the way you read a room, the way you know now exactly what drains you. That knowledge isn't nothing, but it only becomes something if you stop adding words to a finished sentence. Because every day you stay past the moment you already knew isn't living. It's just punctuation, dragging out an ending that already happened. The sentence is done. You've known that for a while. The only thing left is whether you're going to put the period or keep writing words that no longer mean anything to a story you stopped believing in a long time ago. You came into this video knowing something. You're leaving it knowing that you knew. That's the difference. Not information, not motivation. Just no more pretending you didn't see it. The cage was never locked. The sentence was already finished. And the mind that kept you there was yours. Which means the one that walks out is also yours. If something in this video sat heavy on you, that weight is the truth finding its place. Don't shake it off. Sit with it. And if you want to keep sitting with this kind of thinking, the next video is already there. Follow so it finds you. Because some things are worth thinking all the way through.